Hi everybody, I'm glad you could come and see us today. Today I am down at Sean's house and we're out in his sunroom, and today we're going to be talking about things that you can do with seeds that you can get from fruits and vegetables and how you can grow them into plants. So he's going to be sharing with us some activities that you can do at home while you're at home during this time. And he'll also be showing us some things that he's been growing in his sunroom. So we will turn it over to Sean and he's going to show us some things that you can do.
Alright, some things you can do is whenever you get some fruit inside, most of your fruit, sometimes on the outside, but you'll have different seeds in there. These seeds right here are from pears, and these seeds right here are from apples. So what you can do is you can take them out of the inside, you can wash them off, get them clean, and then eventually plant them to maybe make some trees and some other types of plants for different types of fruits and vegetables that you have. So one thing that you can do is first get a paper towel and wet it down, and then you're going to put the seeds in there. Now I've got two different types of seeds, so I'm going to be using different paper towels for that. Some of these seeds are not going to grow, so it's important that you get as many seeds as you can.
John, I noticed that you're spacing it out. Have you found that there's better luck whenever you space it out instead of putting them kind of close together?
If you put them close together, when they start to grow, they will start to grow into each other. And so you got to spread them out so you don't have to untangle them later. So after that, you just cover that up so they get plenty of moisture on all sides. Spray it down again if you need to. And then, don't have the biggest bag, but put it in a Ziploc bag. And then you zip it up. And depending on the types of seeds that you have, you put them in different locations. So with these seeds, I'm going to put them in a dark, warm place for about 2 weeks. And they'll start to grow after that.
So like inside a cabinet, something like that?
Yeah, that's where I put mine, in a dark cabinet. And then after a couple weeks, this is actually more than a couple weeks, this is like a couple months, they will start to sprout. If you don't get them out in a good enough time, some of them might start to mold a little bit, so you don't want to leave them in there for too long. But as you can see, they have started to sprout, and not all of the seeds, see this seed right here did not take, and so that's why you want to plant or put multiple ones there at the beginning. They like to go through the paper towel sometimes, so you got to be careful when you pull them out.
So do you have to put more water in with them as they're hanging up, or do they stay pretty moist with all the water that you put on the paper towel?
They stay moist that whole time, so you will not need to re-water it, just keep it the same. And then you can see how they started to grow. You're going to have the roots, see this part right here, and then the stem is going to starting to grow right there. Now these have been there for a really long time. Realistically, they should have been already planted by now, but it didn't happen. So
how long would it be a good time frame to go ahead and plant it?
probably about 2 weeks or 2 or 3 weeks. It's a good time to start it. And then Once you're ready to plant, you can just get some potting soil. Now there's going to be different types of soil that are better for different types of seeds that you have. I just got normal potting soil for this. You want to make sure these are lemon seeds right here that were planted. When it comes to lemons, you want to make sure that you've got something that has a lot of drainage. You don't want some water sitting in there, so I have some holes that are poked at the bottom of this. Just put some soil in there, make some space. Oops. Didn't realize these were that long, so you want to put them in, make sure the roots are going down, and then you just fill it up around there. Make sure that you push it down so you don't leave any air in there, and then you water it. So normally I put a little bit more in this, almost like I have to mist it, but that's that. You normally water it about once a week or so when it comes to lemons. That's what I do, at least.
And so do lemons, once you put them in the dirt like this, do they grow better when they're out in more sun?
Yeah, because that's kind of their natural habitat. They want to have a lot of sun, but it needs to be warm. And so that's why I have them in the sunroom, because over the winter time they do not do well out in the cold. So keep them in here. You can take them outside as long as the temperature stays warmer in the summertime, but you also don't want them to burn out there. I always keep mine inside though.
And so this room is a sunroom, so what's kind of special about this room?
There's windows all around, and the sun can come in here, and for a lot of these plants they need to have a lot of sun, so that's why they're in here, I guess.
So what kind of plants do you have growing over here? What's in your little pots that are over here? It looks like those are kind of small.
And these right here, these are fruit trees that I planted about a year ago. This one right here is a pear, and it's one of the smallest ones. This one I could actually plant outside if I wanted to, because pear trees can grow here. These other 5 are all lemon, and they are something that you really can't plant outside here in Missouri because they will not do well in the winter time. The interesting thing about all these is that they're all the same, from the same lemon, and these 3 are taller than these 2. And did a little experiment. There was a little encasing on the seeds, and I peeled off a little casing that they had around before I started to put them in the paper towels and water, and the ones that were peeled came out to be this much bigger. So they grow a lot faster than the other 2 that did not.
That's interesting.
So after they grew for so long in my little ice cream container, I moved them into a bigger pot.
So how could you tell when it was time to move it into a bigger pot?
I just did. Whenever you pull them out, like, you want to look every once in a while. Whenever you start to see a whole bunch of roots that are gathering around it, you can. I like to change my soil every once in a while, and so whenever I was changing the soil, I noticed there's a lot of roots, and they're all getting pretty bunched up, so that's whenever I moved them.
So do you know about how long it'll take them to, grow really, really big and get fruit on it?
It will take several years. I've heard it takes between 6 and 8 years for them to actually grow fruit, and then some of these, they will not always grow fruit. Just because you plant from a tree doesn't mean that they will. They will still grow, but they may not be able to produce the fruit.
And so these other plants that you have in here, are these plants that you've just continued to grow from some other cuttings? Or are they ones that you inherited from other people?
I inherited This one, I don't know what it is.
Is that Murs?
Yeah. So this one I inherited. This one I inherited. This one I inherited that is not real. This was inherited.
And that's a helicopter plant. Have you ever replanted these?
No.
So with these, you can actually take this part and repot it, and it'll grow other little plants. Or they're called spider plants too. Those are kind of fun.
This was a gift about a year ago, and this is another fruit kind of plant that I bought that I've been having grow for about a year. It is a miracle berry plant, and after a while it'll grow little berries on there, and once you eat the berry, it will change your taste receptors in your mouth for about 30 minutes. So some bitter and sour stuff will start to taste pretty sweet. So that should be give me some berries after a while.
Very cool. So it sounds like the stuff that you're doing here takes a little bit of time. It's not something that, you know, you can just plant and it grows overnight.
Right.
So is this a pretty good time, do you think, for, you know, kids that are at home for them to maybe try planting some fruit seeds and in the paper towels to see how they go?
Yeah, doing that would be good. But you got to remember that whenever you grow stuff from fruit seeds, it takes a long time. If you want to grow something on your own that's going to take a little bit less time, would be a lot of your different vegetable seeds. And so you'll see that start to grow a lot faster, and then have vegetables grow on it a lot faster than your different types of fruit. Some other types of berries, they'll grow fairly fast, but to get trees that will produce stuff will take a long time.
So I've done some things before with beans, and beans typically grow pretty quick. Have you noticed that?
When I've done it in the past, yeah, but I haven't done it recently.
All right. Well, we're glad that Sean let us come down and check out all of his stuff. I knew that he did these things at his house and has had success with it. And I thought this might be something that people would enjoy doing at their home, taking some supplies at their home, like seeds they can get from vegetables or fruits, and paper towels in a Ziploc baggie. And it's something that you can do at your home. And like he said, it just takes a week or two for them to start growing some of their roots. So it's something that you can check in on every day and watch and see how it grows. And I would love to see any pictures of people doing this at home and see how their plants are beginning to grow. And if you have any questions about anything that Sean has shared with us today, you can post them in the comments. And it was good seeing everybody today, and we will check in tomorrow. We'll be outside again tomorrow checking out some animals. And so I hope to see you then. Bye, everybody.